All right, what's going on, folks? I think this is part 6 today. We're just talking about dog training all day long. You guys have sent me so many questions and concerns, and I'm going to just try to talk about different instances, and hopefully I can help some of you guys out. Talked a lot about my dogs, okay? I think I went over everything I possibly could with my dogs, but I'm sure I forgot some things. Again, you guys can ask questions in the comments, and I'll do my best. Let's start getting into more clients' dogs. Let's start talking about some more aggression, okay? That's what a lot of us have issues with. So right now, in the past 2 weeks, I'm currently working with 6 phone consult clients with major dog aggression issues. Several of them dog-on-dog aggression within the same home, okay? I've talked about it before. To me, it's the hardest thing to deal with. It's a nightmare. It's very difficult when you have 2 dogs that want to kill each other and you're trying to live in the same house. All of them have been to several trainers. The last one I spoke to has been to 6 trainers. Think about that, 6 dog trainers. So you can imagine what kind of money that they are spending. And they have failed each time. No success whatsoever, sometimes making the situation worse. So when I talk to these people on the phone, as they could tell you, I don't jump to take their business. I kind of try to persuade them other ways, because this is so tough to deal with hands-on, guys. Dealing with it over the phone, it's so difficult. It really is. But if people really want to give it a shot, then I will do so. I will do my best. One of the things that stuck out that I remember, the last one, 2 little dogs really killing each other, and it's been going on for a long time, and it's bad. It's really bad. So what I did was I said, okay, I need you to tell me what you did with the other trainers, everything. And once I got past all that, I needed to know every single minute of the day what they were doing and not doing. I mean, no detail is too small. That's really important to me. One of the things that stood out in my head was, again, it comes down to correcting the bad behavior, working on obedience, sit down, come, place, all the same stuff, and the tools. Utilizing the tools to try to stop the behavior. Doesn't work. Never going to happen, especially with 2 dogs in the same home. So again, you got to take pretty drastic measures. But the one thing that stood out in my head, and then I'll get off this subject and we'll move on. When I was asking for specific details of what they were doing throughout the day, the one person said that they carry the one dog down the stairs and the other one walks. And I said, well, why are you carrying that dog? And the one thing that really popped out was the other trainers said that was the dominant dog, and so that's the dog you need to be carrying. As I talked about earlier, okay, if there is a dominant dog, that's a problem. So that's something we need to address right there. Do I believe that that's the dominant dog in the relationship? Yeah, absolutely. That's a big part of the problem. Should that dog be carried, lifted to a higher elevation over the other dog, to be put in a more powerful position? Absolutely not. It's completely the wrong thing to do. That little fucker needs to be on a leash and it walks every place. As a matter of fact, you dictate every step that dog takes. That dog doesn't make any decisions on its own. And when you get down to the in-home aggression, guys, it's a real difficult thing to do. And we've talked about it earlier, so I won't stay on this too long. You have to control everything. Everything gets taken away from that dog. You have to understand something. As dog owners, okay, you have the power to completely fuck your dogs up. But at the same time, you have the power to completely fix your dogs. You really do. Everybody does. We just need to take the right route. So again, if you have a trainer that's identifying which dog is the dominant one and basing your training off of that, that's a problem. There should be no dominant dog within the family structure. There just isn't. I just had a question I remember one of you guys asking, and it just slipped me. But it can happen, okay? Oh, okay. Someone asked a question earlier. I just thought of it. 3 dogs, bad situation, one of them starting to attack the other ones. And a big mistake that a lot of people make is they focus on that one bad dog, all right? They start trying to correct the dog, creating the problems, training the problems. Here's the thing. All dogs within the home have to be treated the same. Have to be treated the same. Okay, there can't be any kind of difference or preference in the treatment. One dog can't be allowed on the bed and the other one's not. You know, one dog can't get punished for things because it's a big, powerful dog, but yet the little douchebag dog gets away with it. You can't do it, guys. All the dogs have to be on an equal playing field. And here's another thing that I could tell you that I have seen so many times over the years, especially when I used to do house calls and go do in-home training. I would get called for a dog that had issues, and there'd be more than one dog in the house. 9 out of 10 times, I would get there, and they would be calling me for the wrong dog. The dog that they thought had the problems wasn't even the dog that had the issues. It was another dog that was creating a lot of issues with very subtle behaviors that the average person doesn't notice. 9 out of 10 times, okay? So you take care of the dog that they didn't realize had an issue. I remember I worked with one home with 3 dogs. This one dog was supposed to be the devil child, okay? It was on medication, all kinds of medication to keep the dog's behavior in check. So when I said I'd come over to take a look at the dog, I told the owner, I said, okay, I need the dog off the medication for a few days so I could see the real dog. They said, oh, we can't do that. It's a nightmare without the medication. I said, I can't help you. They said, fine, we'll do what we have to do. When I work with a client, I'm very specific what I need and what I require. I'm very honest with people. I treat people very well, but I don't sacrifice what needs to be done to get the job done. It's if you're not willing to do what it takes, or if you want to do it your way, I'm the wrong guy for you. And so I'll just always move on. So they agreed to do it. I get there, spend some time in the house with all 3 dogs. Then we go out for a walk with all 3 dogs. And I was like, holy shit. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with this dog. One of the other dogs who was pretty quiet was a little douchebag and was creating all kinds of problems. So they didn't even know which dog had the issues. So once we addressed the other dog, guess what? The dog that was on all kinds of medication, a vet put it on all kinds of medication. No more medication, no more problems, okay? Real simple. So you always got to pay attention to this stuff. Let's talk about another case that you guys saw. I made some videos. Bear, the big, angry German Shepherd. The dog that whooped my ass a little bit, okay? Bear came to me with serious human aggression. A lot of times you hear that, and there really isn't much wrong with the dog. The people exaggerate a lot. But in this case, they weren't exaggerating. What had happened was, I don't know the issues what Bear had before, but he was seeing another trainer. And then at one point, Bear was off leash, and another person shot the dog. Shot him. Tried to kill him. The dog was off leash. He approached the person, and from what I was told, in a non-threatening manner, the guy shot him. From that day on, he became a complete savage. He was tough. So I made a couple of videos of Bear. You guys can check that out. So when Bear showed up, he was pretty bad. As you guys know, I've talked about it before. All human aggression cases, I handle hands off. I don't handle them anymore. I usually take the leash for the first time at the 3rd lesson. It is by far the most effective thing I have ever done for human aggression cases. True human aggressive dogs. By far. I've written about it. I've talked about it. There's plenty of information. I've broken it down step by step what I do, so I'm not going to go over that here. It is truly amazing the results we get with these dogs, and many other trainers that I've walked through have had tremendous success with it. So Bear was pretty aggressive. We did all the hands-off work, the regular obedience training, the e-collar training. I had people change a lot of things in the home. Again, sorry to sound like a broken record. And then it was the 3rd lesson. And I made a video, and I talked about it in the video, and I said what had happened here is, this is the 3rd lesson. I'm going to take the leash, and one of 2 things are either going to happen. Either he's going to try to get away from me and hide behind the owner, what happens most of the time, right? That happens most of the time. Or he's going to try to kill me. Well, guess what he tried to do? He wanted to kill me. It made for some good video. Even though he had a muzzle on, he ripped my shirt open, he broke some skin, he got at me pretty good. I didn't overreact. I didn't correct the dog in any fashion. I just controlled him the best I could, and when I thought the time was right, I gave him back to the owner. And then we continue the training. And in the video, you see he's a lot calmer after that. He's more comfortable being close to me. We're working him in close proximity. We went for a walk, and he was doing great. Okay, much more relaxed. But the beautiful thing would happen here was that couple was going on their honeymoon. They were getting married the following weekend, and they had to find a place to board him with guillotine-style boarding facilities so no one would have to handle the dog. Well, they found a place. They brought him there, and then they call me from their honeymoon and say, hey, we just talked to the place. They said that they're handling him, and he's doing fantastic. I said, well, that's great. Surprising, but it's great. And I'll try to get through this quick. And then they called me when they went to pick the dog up. They said they went to pick the dog up after their honeymoon. They came walking out with him. He was like a different dog. He was fantastic. He really was. When that dog showed up, he had a prong collar on. There was a ton of conflict. Every time this dog blew up, he was getting corrections. That's what the last trainer wanted to do with the prong collar. The worst possible tool you could have in that situation. So I had them remove that. We went to the dominant dog collar. We did the e-collar training. I haven't seen that dog since. I've talked to the people and I asked, how's he doing? He's doing great. I think what would have happened there, guys, if when that dog attacked me, if I would have backed up and retreated, the dog gets what he wants. He wins. He wants me, the threat, to go away. But at the same time, if I would have whooped that dog's ass, then in my head, he's justified in doing what he does. I confirm that he needs to be the asshole that he needs to be because of what I just accomplished. So I needed to find that neutral ground, okay? Now, I could have easily just walked beside that people and did a really gentle handover and kept moving forward with that dog, and it would have been easier. But I don't think we would have got the benefits that we did. So I needed to lay that foundation there with the owners. I needed a whole new training program and a different aspect of training. I needed the dog to see a different look. And then when it was time, I let the dog make the choice. He made the choice to fight. I made the choice not to retreat, not to stand there, but also not to whoop the dog's ass. Okay? And I think from that day on, that dog saw that's about as bad as it gets. Nothing bad happened to me. All right? That's that specific dog. Every dog is different, guys. I went with my gut, what I needed to do with that dog, and it worked out very well. Very well. There's a couple of videos, you guys can watch it, and that dog was tough, and he's a big, powerful, strong dog. But again, the dog shows up, has been through previous training, prong collar corrections, escalated the situation time after time after time. We do the hands-off approach. The information's out there. I'm not going to go through it here. I'm trying to keep these videos short. And once again, it worked wonders. Even though that one lesson was pretty rough to watch for some people, you know, and it bruised me up pretty good. I took a good beating, but I had a laugh because most of the times dogs will try to retreat, you know. They have that fear, and it shows his aggression. But the second you back him into a corner, they try to retreat. This guy didn't retreat. He wanted to whoop my ass, and it was great. But by me keeping a very neutral ground, controlling the dog, not retreating, not taking off, not overreacting, not cracking the dog over the head, not shocking him with the e-collar, not whacking him with the prong collar, that dog saw that this is as bad as it gets, and nothing bad really happened. From that minute on, you see that dog relax in the rest of the video. And from that day on, all of a sudden he accepted people. Okay? That's one more specific case. I'll end this here and we'll talk about some more. But guys, please keep the comment. If you have a question, I need you asking the questions in the comments of these videos, and I'll do the best I can to give you more examples and be more specific. All right, folks? Peace out.